inside Kate's Kitchen. I'm Kate. Tonight we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm doing a mushroom and Canadian bacon frittata. Basically, a frittata is a quiche without a shell or without a pie crust. What I have done is I've taken 10 to 12 slices of Canadian bacon and cut it up and separated each piece into very small little pieces. Whoops. I have a pint of mushroom ends and pieces that I canned last summer. I dumped them out and drained them. I have shredded cheeses, 1/2 cup each of Colby, Monterey Jack, and Italian style. I have a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I have 4 ounces of cream cheese that I cut into 1 by 1 squares. And in my little seasoning thing here, I have 1/8 of a teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, black ground pepper, and dried basil, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And last but certainly not least, I have a dozen eggs right here. And these eggs were laid by our chickens, so they are nice and farm fresh. What we're going to do is we're going to take our great big bowl here, and I'll move things out of the way. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mix our liquid ingredients. That is, we're going to take our eggs. These eggs were broken into a different bowl and individually, and then poured into this bowl to be sure we didn't get any pieces of shell in them. We're going to break them up to be sure that all of the yolks are broken. And then we're going to add to it our heavy cream. See if we can get a little more of that out. We're going to mix all of our seasonings, and we're going to beat those together. You want to be sure that it's well emulsified, but you don't want to beat it until it turns solid or anything. Just beat it up until it's like scrambled eggs. There we go. Now we've got that done, and we'll move it out of the way. I have preheated my oven to 350, and I have coated a pie pan with butter. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make layers. We put some layers of meat, and they don't have to be real close because we've got a lot of things to go in here. And then I've taken the cheeses and mixed all of them together, so we've got all different kinds mixed together. And we're going to fill it up like this. And then we're going to take our cream cheese, and we're just going to drop some of the pieces of cream cheese around. Because as the frittata cooks, the cream cheese will melt out and mix with the other cheeses. And last, we're going to take some of our mushrooms. And we're going to make another layer the same way until we've used up all of the goodies that we have to go into it. Your last layer you want to be cheese. So save just a little bit to go on the top, because that will cook down and make it pretty. And by cheese I mean the shredded cheese. Cream cheese gets a little sticky on your fingers, but it's all right. And the last of the mushrooms. And the last little bit of our Canadian bacon. The final bit of our cheese. And then we take our custard, which is the eggs and milk or cream and seasoning. And we're going to fill that all, pour it over the top, and be sure it gets all down onto the bottom. It gets all over, because this is what's going to make it all stick together. Now before you get it all in there, take something and lift it just a little bit to be sure that it's gotten down. See, right here, the eggs have not gotten through there, and we want them to be all throughout. So you move the filling around a little bit and then pour the rest of the eggs in. I have just a little more than I need. This is a little bit shallower a pan than I usually use. The next thing we do is we get our large either cookie sheet or pizza pan that's been covered with foil so it's easy to clean up. And we put our pie pan right in the middle, because as this cooks, things tend to spread out. Sometimes they're still down on the bottom of your oven, and it's nasty to try and clean that out of the oven. We're going to put it in our oven. Again, it's at 350 degrees, and it'll be in there for, hold on, let me check my notes to be sure I give you the right time. It'll be in there for 30 to 35 minutes. So let's put it in the oven. I will check it again in about 25 minutes, and if things are going well and it looks like it's gotten solid on the top but the center is still a little jiggly, I'll take slices of provolone cheese and I'll lay them over the top. That'll give it another coating of cheese, it'll give it more flavor, and it'll keep the top from burning. So I'll go and do that at about 20 to 25 minutes afterwards, and then I'll bring y'all back when it's done. It's been 30 minutes. I have my gloves on. These are wonderful. They're actually made for keeping your hands protected from hot stuff. So we're going to get it out of the oven. Bring it over here. When it first comes out of the oven, the center is just a tiny bit jiggly. That will stop very quickly because it continues to cook from the internal temperature. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and slice some. This does not have a crust. It makes its own crust-like outside. And I did grease the pan itself with butter, but it still will stick somewhat, so I'm trying to loosen it with the knife. It's easier with a pie server, but I don't happen to have one, so. Some people like other things on it. I usually put a slice of provolone on top of mine, and the heat from the finishing cooking rises up and melts the provolone. You can also do things like before you pour it in the pan, you can add onions, or you can add different kinds of meats and other cheeses. You can have celery, you can have zucchini and all kinds of vegetables. It's entirely depending on what you like. But this is now ready to eat. And I'm going to take it in to David and let him try it. There you go, honey. You've got a mushroom and, I forgot what it is. Mushroom and Canadian bacon frittata.
With a little bit of cheese in there too.
Well, the cheese is part of the frittata, always.
Gee, tastes just like a crustless quiche.
I wonder why.
That's good, sweetheart.
Thank you.
That's very good. Thank you.
Enjoy your dinner.
This will do very nicely.
Super.